Now, perhaps the most interesting thing was that IP enabled a new type of communication service provider to enter the mix. Companies like Skype, known as application service providers that didn't own wires in your house like Verizon did, but they could write some software and stick it on a server, or they could write some software for your computer and connect them all together and introduce voice over IP services. Well, companies like Skype have been tremendously successful in doing this. We have here, impossible to read, I think, from where you're sitting, and hopefully you'll be able to get a copy of the deck if you're interested, a little infographic that charts out some of the success of Skype. Skype was founded in 2003 by a couple guys, and by 2011 was sold to Microsoft for $8.5 billion. Perhaps most interesting about Skype are some of the statistics about how well it's done as an application communications provider using voice over IP. There are 40 million users now online at any given time at peak times. And we have 200 million users that actively use the service in any given month. 200 million. That's almost the population of the United States of America. That's a huge number of users utilizing this service. We're on tens of millions of televisions, and in 2011 we did 300 billion minutes of communications for voice and video calls. Now, perhaps most startling, however, are these statistics. If you added up all of the international calling that happens on any technology, regular landline phones, mobile phones, Skype, our competitors, anytime there's a call from one country to another country, add up all of those minutes that happen worldwide in 2011. How much of those minutes were on Skype? 25%. 1/4 of the entire worldwide international calling is now running just on Skype, running over voice over IP. Perhaps also staggering is this. Skype, as most folks know, does video. It's a relatively new feature, having been around maybe 3 or 4 years. Today, 50% of those 300 billion minutes of communications include video. 50%. Now, if we do a little math and multiply those together, 12.5% of all international calling is now video-based around the world. 12.5%. For video calling, a technology that didn't even exist a few years ago, is now 12.5% of a market that has been around for 50 years. Dramatic transformations, all possible because of this migration to the internet technologies that enabled everything to be done with software instead of hardware.